Welcome to today's session in physics. Today our topic is force between two parallel currents and definition of ampere. Here we consider two conductors which are kept parallel to each other and they are carrying current in the same direction. Here we have PQ and RS as the two conductors and they are carrying currents I1 and I2, and both the currents are in upward direction as you can see from the diagram. Here no external magnetic field is applied, but current through one conductor will be producing a magnetic field at the position where the second conductor is placed. That means at the position where PQ is kept, current flowing through RS will be producing a magnetic field. And in the same way, at the position where RS is kept, current flowing through PQ will be producing a magnetic field. So those magnetic fields are represented as B1 and B2 in the diagram. B1 is the magnetic field produced at the position of RS by the current flowing through PQ. Similarly, B2 is the magnetic field produced at the position of PQ due to the current flowing through RS. So B1 and B2 are shown there. You can see the dot and cross mark at the two positions. They show the direction of that magnetic field. You can find the direction of that magnetic field by using right hand thumb rule. To find the direction of B1, see B1 is produced by PQ. So hold the right thumb in the direction of PQ. Then at the position of RS, in what direction your right hand fingers are going. That is the direction of B1. So obviously you will be getting into the plane. So that is why the cross mark is shown there. Similarly, at the position PQ, that means B2 is marked with the dot, means its direction is out of the plane. That B2 is the magnetic field produced by I2, the current flowing through RS. So keep the right hand thumb in the direction of I2 and curl the fingers of right hand. So at the position of PQ, in what direction the right hand fingers are coming, that is the direction of magnetic field. So you will be getting it to be coming out of the plane. So that is the direction of magnetic field. Hope you followed how we are getting the directions of magnetic field B1 and B2, and we have marked it there. The perpendicular distance between the two conductors is taken to be small letter r. Now we will find the force acting on these two conductors, because we have already discussed in the beginning of this chapter that when a current carrying conductor is kept in a magnetic field, it will experience a force. So here, since at the positions of both the conductors, the other conductor is producing a magnetic field, both the conductors will be experiencing forces. So one by one we will find those forces and we will analyze the nature of those forces. Let's start with RS. The magnetic field on RS due to the current in PQ. Current in PQ is I1. So magnetic field due to that current I1 is B1 is equal to mu 0 I1 divided by 2 pi r. So B1 is having a magnitude mu 0 I1 by 2 pi r, where r is the separation between the two conductors. Therefore, the force acting on RS due to the current I2 through it. Through RS, the current flowing is I2, and you know what is the expression for force acting on a current carrying conductor kept in a magnetic field. That is given by the equation IL cross B. This is the expression for that force, IL cross B or ILB sin theta. Here you know the direction between IL and B, or the angle between IL and B is 90 degree. So surely theta is 90 degree. So sine 90 it becomes 1. So our expression for force it becomes F is equal to simply ILB. In the case of conductor RS, this I is I2. L, length of the conductor, we will take it to be L itself, and B is the magnetic field at the position of RS, which is B1. B1 is mu 0 I1 by 2 pi r. So substituting all these things, we write that force as F21. That means force on second conductor due to first conductor. That's what the meaning of F21 is. So F21 is mu 0 I1 by 2 pi r, that is the magnetic field, into current through it is I2, then L sine 90, that gives you mu 0 I1 I2 L divided by 2 pi r. So that is the magnitude of force acting on second conductor, that means RS. And what is the direction of that force? You can use left hand rule, Fleming's left hand rule. That means your forefinger should be kept into the plane because magnetic field should be into. Then the middle finger should be kept in the direction of current, and thumb will be showing a direction which is shown in the diagram. That means F21 in this direction. That means towards PQ. So force on RS due to current flowing through PQ is towards PQ, or we can say PQ attracts RS. Now let's see what's the case with force acting on PQ. So force acting on PQ is due to the magnetic field B2 and the current flowing through it, which is I1. So we know what will be the expression for B2. B2 is the field produced by current flowing through RS. The current flowing through RS is I2. So B2 is given by mu 0 I2 by 2 pi r. So this B2 produces a force on PQ, which is given by, as we discussed earlier, force F is given by ILB sine theta. So here it will be ILB, and substituting as we discussed earlier, we have F12 is equal to mu 0 I1 I2 I divided by 2 pi r. Here we wrote that force as F12, meaning is force on first conductor due to the second conductor, F12. So we are getting the same magnitude. You can compare both F21 and F12. The magnitudes of those two forces we are getting to be the same. What is the direction of F21? We have already discussed. The direction of F12, you can again use Fleming's left hand rule. Here B2 is outward, so the forefinger can be kept outward, and the direction of current is upward. So you will get the direction of force to be towards RS. That means force acting on PQ is towards RS, or RS attracts PQ. So the two forces acting on PQ and RS, they are opposite in direction, and their magnitudes also we get to be same if we are choosing the two conductors of same length, because that term L also is there. So if they are of same length, we are getting the force to be same. So both the conductors, they attract each other with this force, that is mu 0 I1 I2 L divided by 2 pi r. So force per unit length of the conductor is given by F by L is equal to mu 0 I1 I2 divided by 2 pi r. So that is the expression, that is force per unit length. So very important conclusion we have reached now. So if through two parallel conductors, if the currents are flowing in the same direction, the two conductors attract each other with a force per unit length mu 0 I1 I2 divided by 2 pi r. So by Fleming's left hand rule, the conductors experience force towards each other and they attract each other if the currents are in the same direction, and the conductors experience force away from each other and repel each other if the currents are flowing in opposite direction. You can use, if the currents are in opposite direction, as we did discussed earlier, no, you can find out the direction of the forces, and you can see that still the forces are acting in opposite direction, but they are acting away from each other. They repel each other. So anti-parallel currents repel each other. So that is a very important conclusion. Parallel currents attract each other and anti-parallel currents repel each other. Okay. Now coming to the definition of ampere. So we already have the expression for force per unit length as mu 0 I1 I2 divided by 2 pi r, and the unit is Newton per meter. Now suppose we keep I1 equal to I2 equal to 1 ampere and R is equal to 1 meter. So substituting for mu 0, I1, I2 and R, we'll get F to be equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter. So we can define 1 ampere as that current which, if passed in each of the two parallel conductors of infinite length placed 1 meter apart in vacuum, causes each conductor to experience a force of 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter of length of the conductor. That means when two infinite length conductors are kept at a distance 1 meter in vacuum, okay, which current passes through them so that they attract each other with a force of 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter. That current is defined as 1 ampere. So that definition of ampere is very important, and this diagram represents the field due to parallel currents. That is optional. If you want, you can study, or if you omit, no problem. Now coming to example 4.10, the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field at a certain place is 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla, and the direction of the field is from the geographic south to the geographic north. A very long straight conductor is carrying a steady current of 1 ampere. What is the force per unit length on it when it is placed on a horizontal table and the direction of current is east to west and south to north? So in two cases we have to find the force per unit length. As you know, the force acting on a current carrying conductor kept in a magnetic field is IL cross B. That means the magnitude of the force is ILB sin theta and force per unit length is IB sin theta. Now the first case, current is flowing from east to west, and it's given the direction of Earth's magnetic field is from south to north. So when we think about theta, theta will be 90 degree because magnetic field is from south to north and current is flowing from east to west. So the angle theta becomes 90 degree and force per unit length, it becomes IB. That means 3 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter. And in the second case, when the means the magnetic field is south to north and current also is south to north. In that case, theta becomes 0 and force per unit length becomes 0. In the first case, the direction of current we can find to be downwards using Fleming's left-hand rule. Now, another problem, that is exercise question 4.7. Two long parallel straight wires A and B carrying currents 8 ampere and 5 ampere in the same direction are separated by a distance of 4 centimeter. Estimate the force on a 10 centimeter section of wire A. So here you are asked to find force, not force per unit length, force on A or 10 centimeter length. So first we can find force per unit length. Then multiply it with 10 centimeter or 0.1 meter. You will get the force. So finding force per unit length, mu 0 I1 I2 by 2 pi r. So we will get 2 into 10 raised to minus 4 Newton per meter. Multiplying it with 0.1, we have 2 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton. So that is the force on 10 centimeter section of wire A.